Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play a training game, and this time it's going to be against someone I know, or a subscriber I know, and he asked for a game yesterday because it's hard to get longer games in, and the waiting time to get paired is too long for a 30-minute game, so we arranged one. Okay, good luck to Stanley. We have a Slav and we have a Semi-Slav. Okay, so I did not have time to prepare, unfortunately. Just let me see if everything is okay. I hope the screen is okay. Wait, let me check the sound. Okay, it seems okay. Okay, so good luck to Stanley. We have a Semi-Slav and we have a Meran Semi-Slav. Unless he plays Queen C2, then we have an anti-Meran. Okay, but he plays the main line. Okay, let's see. Okay, E4. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay, so he's obviously been preparing for me. I haven't looked at this line in a while. Okay, C4. And now there's going to be trouble with the pawn on E6. Now I have to remember this. Okay, bishop b7 is normal. Bishop c5 I think is not okay because of e5. Bishop b4 could be okay. I meet knight g5 with knight c5, so I don't want my bishop on c5. Okay, and today I have a longer game, so I can actually think. This is a pretty good test to my repertoire, so it's going to be useful whatever happens. Okay, bishop b7. If he plays e5, I take on f3, queen f3, and knight e5. So that doesn't seem too good for him. If I play bishop b4 and he plays e5, I can play knight d5. If bishop b4 and knight g5, then knight c5. Okay, so what he wants to do is he wants to play knight e2, knight f4. He wants to start putting pressure on the pawn on e6. So I'm gonna have to defend that either way. I could play e5. I don't know if e5 is correct now, because that gives up the d5 square. Then again, on e5 he could still play knight g5. So I feel like I should castle. Maybe bishop b4 is the correct way to play, and he castles. I take on c3, bc3 castles kingside, knight g5, knight c5. He could exchange. On d8, I mean. Okay, after bishop b7, how afraid am I of e5? Bishop b7, e5, knight d5 seems okay. Bishop b7, knight g5, knight c5 seems okay. Bishop b7, castles kingside. Bishop e7 maybe. Everything is getting mixed in my head. All the theory is getting mixed in my head. Okay, I'm gonna start with bishop b7 because I like connecting my queen and rook, and against knight g5 I can then play knight c5 without doubling up, without having to take with the king on d8. Okay, since he's thinking and he was so well prepared for the first few moves, I'm guessing this is not theory, or it's at least not mainline theory. So but against e5 I can take on f3, and then I can take on e5, so it doesn't work yet. And if he plays knight g5, then e5 is a threat, I think, because he can then... Oh no, it's not, because I take on e5. But if he has e5 followed by knight g5 and queen h5, then it's dangerous. Okay, and just a brief context about this position. Black is playing for a queenside pawn majority, which is already pretty far advanced, and in many positions b4 is very annoying. Later on, not now. Also now, because b4 would win the e4 pawn. But I'm not sure I can do that, because I am hanging e6 and my king is still on e8. e5 should... I mean, I remember seeing e5. I just don't remember what happens on knight h4 and knight f5. Because I don't have knight e4 tricks, he has queen h5 check. And if g6, then knight g6. So I'm not sure. If castle's kingside and b4 and knight e2 and knight e4, then that should be good because he doesn't have rook e1. But if b4 and knight a4 and knight e4 and bishop e4 and bishop e4, or no, if castle's kingside b4, knight a4, knight e4, rook e1, then I have knight c5, and then he plays knight c5 and bishop c5 and rook e6 check, and king f7 and knight g5, and I lose. So if he castles kingside, I don't play b4, because he has knight a4, and that's preventing knight c5. Okay, so again, since he's thinking, bishop b7 is probably not theory. I'm a bit unhappy that he played d5. I spent a long time studying e5 because almost nobody plays d5 in the position of the e4 c5. So again, a good test. This is going to be a tough game. Maybe he should consider knight e2 straight away and just give up a pawn, and if I take it, castle king side, and then pressure on e6 and with knight f4, and just tremendous pressure. Maybe that's too much because I can play bishop b4 check and trade with tempo and castle with tempo, but he does castle. Okay. So b4 doesn't work. b4, knight a4, knight e4, rook e1. Could I play knight f6? Because that offers a queen trade. But he can play queen e2. Attacking the pawn on c4. b4, knight a4. But I'm attacking the knight on a4 with my queen. b4, knight a4, knight e4, rook e1, knight d f6, queen e2. b4, knight a4, knight e4, rook e1, knight d f6, queen e2. Wait, or I could just play knight e c5 and I have the d7 knight defending as well. Yeah, but he has knight g5. And queen h5 check. b4, knight a4, knight e4, rook e1, knight e c5, knight g5. Threatening queen h5, winning my, well, winning. So e5 is not dangerous yet. He can play rook e1 on the next turn, and that's fine. And then I can castle. I could also start with knight c5, putting pressure on his e4 pawn, not giving him time for knight g5 and queen h5 because the queen is attacked, and he probably plays queen e2. So knight c5, queen e2, bishop e7, e5 still doesn't work. But if I play knight c5, he can play e5. Okay, I'm gonna play bishop e7. Maybe b4 works, maybe knight c5 works, but I feel that this is... Okay, he plays queen e2. Okay. That was sort of expected. Now he wants to play e5 on the next turn, or he wants to play knight g5 on the next turn. So castles kingside, rook d1, queen c7. Castles kingside, rook d1, queen c7. If e5, then bishop f3 again. If castles kingside and e5, then I simply play bishop f3. Okay, I'm gonna castle kingside because I like putting my king to safety. If knight g5, then knight c5. I'm expecting rook d1. Ah, maybe bishop f4 is a good move. Is bishop f4 a good move? No, I have knight e4. Okay. I did not expect knight d4. I had expected knight g5. Okay, so knight c5 is pretty forced. So I'm gonna play it. Okay, and now queen b6 or queen c7. Queen b6 seems safer, but it could run into bishop e3. But then knight e4. Queen c7 could run into b4. And then when I take en passant, he plays bishop b3. I don't really want to play queen c8. Queen b6, bishop e3. Rook a d8. If knight e6, then bishop, then queen e6, because the knight is defended by the bishop on e7. Okay, I'm gonna play queen b6, even though it runs into bishop e3. I don't think queen c7 is a good move because of b4, and after en passant, bishop b3, where knight b3 runs into into knight e6. Now I have to calculate if bishop e3 runs into knight e4, because it's definitely possible to take on e4 because I'm attacking f2. And then I have bishop c5. I mean, in the Semi-Slav, the b6 square is where your queen belongs. Usually. Not in the Reynolds Attack, or I'm not sure. I don't know. But I definitely think queen c7 was wrong tactically. It feels very good to have 20 minutes on the clock, and we are already in the middle game. How careful should he be about his f2 pawn? I don't think it's a big deal. Can he play bishop g5? That's another question. I mean, he can, but should he? If bishop g5, knight d5 doesn't work, because he takes on d5 attacking my queen, so with bishop g5, I probably play rook a e8, which seems bad, but it's overprotecting the e6 pawn, so it makes some sense. And also I can move my knight, and also e5 is not a strong threat. Now, e5 he should think twice about, because g2 is not too solid. Also, there are tactics on f2 with my queen on b6. Yeah, maybe b4 worked instead of bishop e7. But even if it did, I definitely feel a lot safer with my king on g8. Which of my pieces are bad? Okay, my bishop on e7 is definitely a bad piece for the moment. My rook on a8 is a bad piece. I want it on d8. Where do I want my bishop? For the moment, I don't have bishop d6 because he has e5. So I should be worried about my bishop. What I would like to do is somehow be able to play knight d7, knight f d7, and knight e5, and then plant the knight into d3. But on knight f d7, he probably has to play f4. But then he needs to be concerned about the diagonal a7 g1. And if I do manage to play knight fd7, knight e5, knight d3, then that should be strategically winning for me. That would be a monster knight, octopus knight. I don't know, bishop e3 still seems like the best move for him. I don't think he should delay that too much. I don't think I take on e4. I don't think I ever take on e4. Because the knight discovery has to be too dangerous. The question is after bishop e3. And rook a d8. Am I threatening e5? Bishop e3, rook a d8, let's say h3, he does nothing. e5, knight f5. Because after e5, knight f5, I have knight e6 and knight d4, but I have to defend my e7 bishop first. So if I defend my bishop, then e5, knight f5, knight e6, knight d4, I mean he could take it. If I recapture with the e-pawn, that seems very promising. Another bad thing about queen b6 is that b4 is much harder to play because knight a4 comes with tempo. And also, which is rook on d1, have to be careful about my c5 knight because rook d7 wins a piece after e5. Unless I have a solid knight d5, which I do for now, but I really do want to play rook a d8 as soon as possible. The problem with rook a d8 is that e5 actually, in combination with bishop g5, would win my bishop on e7. So I feel that bishop e7 was an inaccuracy. But then again, where do I put my bishop? If I play bishop b4, he plays knight e2, knight f4. If I play bishop d6, he plays e5. If I play bishop c5 on knight d4 or knight g5, I don't have knight c5. Then again, maybe I should have played bishop c5, kept the knight on d7, and played queen b6, defending the e6 pawn, and threatening knight e4, bishop f2, or rook f2. Okay, what do I do against bishop e3? He probably plays bishop e3. If he plays bishop e3, then he's probably not going to play bishop g5 and move his bishop twice. So against bishop e3, I probably play rook a d8. And then, how can he put pressure on my knight? If he takes on e6, I take with the queen. My knight is defended. If he plays e5, I can play knight d5. if he plays knight f3, knight f3. If he plays knight f3, I can exchange on d1, play rook fd8, queen e2. Maybe I can take on e4 there. No, 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 no. No, I cannot, because yes, I can, because I have knight f takes, knight takes, bishop takes, and then if knight takes, bishop takes, queen. So no, I cannot do that. So knight f3 is probably okay. But then again, knight f3 allows bishop g4, and if he plays bishop d4, then I can play e5 because it's defended by the knight. It's defended by the knight, I think. I think it is. It is the knight on g4. I think queen e2 sort of goes against the plans in this position. Maybe he should have gone for knight e2 and knight f4, because that's pretty hard to meet in combination with knight g5. And I remember learning that whenever one of the knights is on g5 and the other one comes to, okay, so he has to play knight b1 if I push. So b4, a5, queen a7, knight b1. Because if he plays knight a2, I can play b3. So b4, a5, queen a7, knight b1, b3, and the bishop is lost. b4, a5, queen a7, knight a4. He liberates a square for the knight with a5. Stupid me. Stupid me. Okay, so I don't think b4 works. b4, a5, queen a7, knight a4, threatening to trade off. Well, maybe I can play queen c7 and not queen a7. So b4, a5, queen c7, knight a4. I don't want to take because he takes on e6, but I can play rook. No, I cannot play rook ad8, rook a8. a4 is a very good move. I did not expect a4 at all. I don't know what to do. If b4 doesn't work, what do I do? I don't have e5. That's definite. I don't take on a4. That's also definite. I don't play knight b3, I think. I could play bishop c6, but that seems very passive. I don't know what to do. a4 is very annoying. Okay, let's try to make b4 work again. b4, a5, queen c7, knight a4. Knight a4, knight e6. Can I play queen e5? He has f4. No, he doesn't have f4. On queen e5 he takes on f8. And then can I take? And then can I save my knight? So b4, a5, queen c7, knight a4, knight a4, knight e6, queen e5, knight f8, knight c5. His knight on f8 is attacked. b4, a5, queen c7, knight a4, knight a4, knight e6, queen e5, knight f8, knight c5. He could also just take on a4. b4, a5, queen c7, knight a4, knight a4, bishop a4. My e6 pawn is attacked, and my exchange is hanging. I mean, I could play bishop c8, but that seems pretty bad. Yeah, okay, b4 doesn't work, definitely doesn't work. Let's have a look at e5 again. Ugh, I don't want to play e5. e5, knight f5. Rook a, e8. Defending my bishop. And then preparing knight e6 to d4 in combination with bishop c5. I mean, that could work. e5, knight f5, rook a, e8. He doesn't have queen g4. e5, knight f5, rook a, e8. He does something. And then I play knight e6 to d4. I'm going to do it because I'm wasting too much time. And this position is just getting out of control. a4 was a really good move that I hadn't expected. And I feel like I have to meet it with something aggressive. This bishop is bad. If I could do this and then bishop c5, then I have a good position. So this is about defending b5, and it's also about giving my knight on c5 the e6 square, because as soon as e6 is not a target anymore, then the knight on c5 is not a really spectacular piece in my opinion. So knight f5, rook a8. If he plays bishop e3, I can play queen c7, over defending my bishop, but then my pawn on b5 is attacked again. Ugh. Okay, not good. I have to play rook a, e8, which I'd planned to play, and then we will see what happens from there. If he doesn't play bishop e3, I'm happy. If he does play bishop e3, I could also consider playing queen c6. For the moment, I don't think I'm getting in any trouble on g7. If anything, he has to be careful about knight takes e4. For the moment, not, because knight e7 comes with check, so it's tempo. That will lose a piece. So if bishop e3, I think queen c6 works. Followed by knight e6 and either knight f4 or knight d4. I did not want to give up the f5 square. I'm aware that that's positionally really ugly, but I couldn't solve the issue of the b5 pawn without doing that. And I've given my knight the e6 square, so there's something positive there. So bishop e3, queen c6, let's say rook d2, and I can play knight e6, followed by bishop c5. Can he then play knight d6? He can. Bishop d6. Whoa. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. f3? What's f3? Surely that doesn't work. f3? What's f3? Can I not play knight e4? Knight e4, bishop e3, knight c3, bc3, bishop c5. Knight e4, bishop e3, knight c3, bishop b6, knight e2, check. What did I miss? What am I missing? Knight takes e4, check. Bishop e3. Knight takes c3. If he plays queen e5, then I play bishop c5. Knight e4, bishop e3 has to be the only move. Knight takes c3. If queen e5, I think I can just play queen c6. Knight e4, bishop e3, knight c3. I don't see what's wrong with that, so I'm going to play it. If I'm missing something, then fine. But I don't think I'm missing anything. Bishop e3, knight c3. Okay, he takes. Nice. Okay. A pawn is a pawn. Bishop c5 was my intention, so I'm going to play it. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that either, unless he has knight d6, but I don't think he has knight d6. My bishops are now very pretty. f3 was just a weird mistake. Now he doesn't get to take my bishop on e7. His knight is now no longer on an outpost. He doesn't have queen g3. If I take on e3 and he takes with the knight, then I definitely play e4 and break open the position. He has to play f4, then I have a passed pawn. This is looking really nice. Also, after e4, f4, I have knight g4. And if queen takes, then queen takes knight. Check. So, with an extra pawn, a much better pawn structure, and these monster bishops, and his pawn on f3, and his tactically viable knight on f5, I should be much better. That being said, I've messed up good positions before, as you all know, so... But a4 was, I think, a move worthy of a grandmaster, and f3 is just... I mean, I made a huge concession playing e5. I think he overreacted. I don't know what he was afraid of, but he definitely did overreact with f3. As Grandmaster Ben Feingold would say, never play f3. In this case, I agree. I'm going to spend a long time analyzing this game. I don't know what led to the point that at which a4 was so powerful. I think it was bishop e7. I think I may have misplaced my bishop. Then again, I'm not sure bishop c5 was so great. It would have taken... Okay. Well, this he has to take with the queen, because if he takes with the knight, I take the rook. So I take with check on e3, queen takes, knight takes, and then I evict the rook, so that works. Yeah. And now what? He doesn't have rook d7. He still has this annoying knight. Should I trade one pair of rooks before allowing rook a d1? If I don't play rook d8, he plays ab, rook a7. And if I play rook d8, he plays rook a d1. And then I takes. And still he has ab, rook b6. Rook d8, rook a d1, takes. I don't know. I don't think trading off a pair of rooks helps me so much. Okay, so I'm gonna start with e4. That's a forcing move. And then he plays f4. He has to play f4. And then I'm going to exchange and play rook b8. And on rook b6 I have knight d7. Unless he has rook d6 there. Yeah, this may not have been a great plan, because on rook b8 he has rook b6. At least with e4 I'm turning my biggest weakness into a passed pawn. I wish I could get my knight into c5. Okay, he did play f4. Now I probably have to play rook d8. So rook d8, rook d1, takes. I was thinking bishop c8, and then after ab, bishop d7 to defend, follow that up with knight g4 to dislodge the knight and attack the pawn. So I think that's a good plan. Okay, and now bishop c8 prevents rook e6 to double attack the pawn. If knight d5 I take, if AB, rook b6 I have bishop d7, and next move I go knight g4. Also this defends against knight f5, knight e7. I need to defend my b5 pawn because that's my advantage. That's my only advantage. My passed pawn on e4 is great, but for the moment it's safely blockaded by the knight and not going anywhere. Okay, he prevents knight g4. So, what's wrong with knight h5? On knight h5 he plays bishop e4. So I can start with rook e8. Against which he probably has to play g4. Could also start with king f7. Okay, I'm gonna start with rook e8. I'm gonna start with rook e8 and provoke g4. Also, my rook behind the passed pawn has to be good. Okay, now I'm gonna play king f7. Okay. Ah, he changes the move order. He changes the move order. He doesn't have to play AB first. He can play rook b6 first. But I can now play knight d7. I need to prevent him from winning the b5 pawn. I just have to. Okay, rook c6. I'm gonna play f3 to prevent knight there, and then I think I'm gonna go in with my king, but that loses the pawn, so I have to be careful. I don't have rook here. Okay, I have to activate. I have to activate my pieces. I feel like this should be okay. I want to play rook d8 and rook d2 check. He could of course again play rook b6. I didn't see that he has rook b6 and then ab, in which case bishop d7 of course doesn't work, because he can just take on a6. If he plays g5, he is hanging too many pawns. h3 and f4. Okay, if I play bishop d7, he can simply play g5, so I need to retreat. Okay. This is a very tough position. If rook c6, I have to play knight d7, I think. I don't think I have anything else. I don't think I have rook d8 because the knight defends the bishop. So rook c6, knight d7, knight d5, bishop b7. He doesn't have rook d7 because his rook is on c6. It's not on c7 anymore. I was afraid of rook c6, knight d7, knight d5, bishop b7, rook d7, knight f6 check, king f7, knight d7. But his rook is not on the 7th rank anymore. He is way ahead on the clock. But at least now it's a 20-second increment, not a 10-second increment. If he plays f5, I don't think I react. I just leave it as it is. And then on rook c6, I have king f7. Or maybe I could react. Okay, he does play rook c6, and I have to go knight d7. I don't have anything else. Okay, he exchanges, I have to take. I don't have anything else. Smart. Smart. Unless it's a bit too smart and I have bishop b7. I think I have to play bishop b7 because my knight would be pinned if my king goes to the 7th rank. So he plays rook d6. I think he has to. I did not see this move. I didn't see bishop check. I didn't see bishop check. Okay, I have to take, I think. Wow, he doesn't take my knight. He wants to go here and then check me here. Okay, I'm gonna have to defend like this. I don't see any other move. Why is he adding me time? Don't add time. Come on, that's not fair. Wait, I have to. I wrote don't add time, please. Okay, I'm going to go to the toilet real quick while the time that he added runs out. Okay, he didn't move yet. Okay, he didn't move yet. Wow, it's been an hour and 20 minutes already. Okay. What is it? Zugzwang? So, knight f8, knight f6, rook d2 check, king e1 or something, and then if he checks on c8, then king g7. I don't think he has a win there. Knight f8, knight f6, rook d2 check. I could also play rook d3. I don't think he has a win. So I'm going to play knight f8. I don't see any other move. Ah, wait. Knight f8, knight f6, rook d3, he has rook f7. And I have to go back. That would be Zugzwang. Complete Zugzwang, actually. Okay, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to move my king closer, because if I play knight f8, I just lose. So I don't know what else to do. I have no idea what to do. Ah, okay. Good game. Yeah, it should not have finished like this. But what can you do? Okay, let's just look at the last few moves here. I was also thinking, in this position I could play h6. But he probably doesn't take. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to do here. If I play knight f8, he plays here, and if I check, let's say this and this, then he plays rook f7, and I have to go back. So that definitely doesn't work. King g8 doesn't work. What else can I do? Cannot move my knight because he has knight f6. If I play, for example, knight b8, then knight f6, and I don't have rook d7, and I'm hanging mate. So g5 was really strong. So that means rook d8 was the blunder. So I needed to react before rook d8. But how do I react? What do I do? Because if I play knight somewhere, he plays knight f6. I don't know. This is probably already lost. So rook c7. I don't know. I mean, if I have to play bishop c8, then how is this? This is not playable, I feel. So yeah, that means that knight d7 is the mistake. So what do I do instead of knight d7? And I could go back. I probably should go back. So if I got into this position, which was so bad, and I honestly don't feel that e4 was the mistake, then maybe I should have played rook e7. Simply rook e7. And on rook b6, maybe just take and play knight d5 to liberate my position. Yeah, this seems much better. Even if I give up this pawn, this seems much better. So yeah, rook d8 was probably the crucial mistake. So let's say he doubles, then I can play something safe, I don't know, h6. Yeah, this seems much better. I really don't have to weaken myself because of one pawn. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. I feel like it was a good game. I mean, congratulations to my opponent. He outplayed me. He made one blunder. He played f3. I made several. So good game. Okay, again, stay tuned for more chess and see you later. Bye-bye.